All right, buckle up, because we're about to enter the high-stakes arena of a celebrity trial unlike any other. We're talking about Diddy, a name synonymous with music moguldom, but now facing a legal battle that could redefine his legacy forever. The day has come, the trial is here. But before any evidence is presented, before any witnesses take the stand, there's a crucial, often overlooked, and incredibly complex first act, jury selection. And let me tell you, in a case this high profile with allegations this serious, finding the right jury is going to be a monumental challenge, a true Herculean task for both sides of the courtroom. Think about it. This isn't your average case. This involves a celebrity whose life has been splashed across headlines for decades, whose relationships and alleged behaviors have been the subject of intense public scrutiny. In today's hyper-connected world, where opinions are formed in an instant and news travels at lightning speed, can you truly find 12 individuals who haven't already formed some kind of opinion about Diddy and the accusations swirling around him? The defense team, in particular, faces an uphill battle. The concept of an unbiased jury in a case of this magnitude almost feels like a mythical creature. Consider the sheer volume of media coverage, the social media chatter, the documentaries dissecting every alleged misstep. Finding a prospective juror not just in the media hub of New York City, where the trial is likely to take place, but anywhere in this country who hasn't been exposed to the narrative surrounding Diddy is a long shot. And let's be honest, much of the prevailing public sentiment leans towards a presumption of guilt. This gives the prosecution a significant advantage right out of the gate. Now, the crucial question for the defense becomes, how do you even begin to navigate this minefield of pre-existing opinions? Simply asking potential jurors if they can have an open mind is naive and, frankly, ineffective. Anyone can say they can be impartial. The real art lies in crafting questions that delve deeper, that uncover hidden biases and preconceived notions. This leads us to a fascinating point of legal strategy. The defense needs to explore whether potential jurors have ever held a strong belief, something deeply important to them, and yet through new information or perspective were able to change their minds. And crucially, they need to press for specifics. Can a juror point to a time they genuinely shifted their viewpoint on a significant issue? This kind of questioning can reveal a juror's capacity for intellectual flexibility and willingness to consider evidence objectively, even if it contradicts their initial assumptions. Then there's the elephant in the room, the pre-trial publicity surrounding alleged celebrity sex tapes and accusations involving minors. It's been a significant part of the public discourse surrounding Diddy, yet legally it's crucial to understand that these specific allegations are reportedly not part of the current criminal charges. This creates a bizarre paradox, and here's where things get really interesting. Will the absence of these highly publicized allegations actually work in the defense's favor? Could jurors expecting to hear about these specific claims and then not hearing them feel that the prosecution's case is somehow lacking or didn't live up to the hype? It's a risky gamble, but it highlights the complex psychological factors at play during jury selection. Jurors come in with their own expectations and assumptions, and when those expectations aren't met, it can influence their perception of the evidence presented. And let's not forget the undeniable power of visual evidence, specifically the Cassie video. Even though Diddy isn't currently being charged for the specific acts depicted in that footage, its impact on public perception is undeniable. Our own Downfall of Diddy documentary presented this case to a mock jury, and the overwhelming sentiment was that the video was the defining piece of evidence, shaping their initial and often final opinions. How can the defense possibly counteract the visceral impact of that video in the minds of potential jurors, even if it's not directly tied to the charges at hand? Can they successfully argue that past actions, however disturbing, shouldn't dictate the verdict on the current charges? Beyond the inherent biases and the impact of media, there are also logistical hurdles. A trial of this magnitude is expected to last around 2 months, smack dab in the middle of summer. For many prospective jurors, this is a non-starter. The hardship excuses will likely be numerous, shrinking the already limited pool of potential candidates. And then, inevitably, we arrive at the issue of race. In a society where racial dynamics are deeply ingrained, race will undoubtedly play a significant role in how both the prosecution and the defense strategize their jury selection. What kind of racial and ethnic diversity will each side be looking for in the jury? Will they be seeking jurors who they believe will be more sympathetic to their narrative based on their background and experiences? Similarly, the age-old question of gender dynamics in jury deliberations will come into play. Will men or women, on average, be more inclined to be harsher or more sympathetic towards Diddy, given the nature of the allegations? Is there a discernible gender bias that either side will try to leverage during selection? Finally, there's the dynamic within the courtroom itself. In this particular trial, the judge will reportedly be the one directly questioning the potential jurors, not the lawyers. While this is a standard procedure, the sheer number of lawyers present at the counsel tables, all with their own agendas and strategies, will make it a challenge for the judge to maintain order and prevent subtle, or not so subtle, influence. Keeping those legal minds quiet and focused will be a task in itself. The selection of a jury in the Diddy trial is far more than a procedural formality. It's a high-stakes psychological battle, a delicate dance of probing questions and strategic exclusions. The composition of this jury will ultimately determine the trajectory of Diddy's life. It's a process fraught with challenges, biases, and the immense weight of public opinion. This first act of the trial will be a major challenge, and the choices made in this room will echo throughout the proceedings and beyond. Stay with us as we navigate this complex process and analyze the crucial decisions that will shape the fate of a music icon. Welcome back to CEtrends, where we pull back the curtain on the biggest stories shaping the celebrity world. If that intro got your attention and you're intrigued by the immense challenge of selecting a jury for the upcoming Diddy trial, then you've come to the right place. Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates on this developing legal drama, because the process of choosing who will ultimately decide Diddy's fate is a story in itself. As we just laid out, the legal showdown involving Diddy is finally upon us, and the very first hurdle in this high-stakes battle is the arduous task of jury selection. Finding a group of individuals who can approach this case with impartiality, despite the overwhelming media coverage and public opinion, is going to be a Herculean effort for both the prosecution and the defense. The defense, as we discussed, faces a particularly steep climb. The saturation of news and commentary surrounding Diddy and the serious allegations against him makes the prospect of finding truly unbiased jurors feel almost impossible. In a media landscape that has been dominated by this story for months, it's difficult to imagine that potential jurors in a major media hub like New York City, where the trial is expected to take place, or frankly anywhere across the nation, haven't already formed some level of opinion. Given the generally negative public perception surrounding Diddy, the prosecution arguably holds an initial advantage. This puts immense pressure on the defense team to employ sophisticated strategies during voir dire, the jury selection process. As our intro highlighted, simply asking potential jurors if they can be open-minded is insufficient. The key lies in asking more nuanced questions that probe deeper into their capacity for impartiality. A crucial tactic involves exploring whether prospective jurors have ever held a significant belief that they were later able to change based on new information or a different perspective. Requiring specific examples of such instances can offer valuable insight into a juror's intellectual flexibility and their willingness to consider evidence objectively, even if it challenges their initial assumptions. Adding another layer of complexity is the extensive pre-trial publicity surrounding alleged celebrity sex tapes and accusations involving minors. While these specific allegations are reportedly not part of the current criminal charges, they have undeniably shaped public perception of Diddy. This creates a fascinating legal and psychological dynamic. As we posed in the intro, could the absence of these highly publicized allegations in the actual trial proceedings surprisingly benefit the defense? Might jurors who come in expecting to hear about these specific claims feel that the prosecution's case is somehow lacking or has failed to deliver on the expected sensationalism? This is a delicate gamble for the defense. While they can't directly address the excluded allegations, the jury's expectations and potential disappointment in the prosecution's narrative could subtly influence their overall perception of the evidence presented. The Cassie video depicting disturbing acts presents another significant hurdle for the defense. Even though Diddy isn't being criminally charged for the actions shown in that video, its powerful and visceral impact on public opinion is undeniable. As our mock jury analysis in the Downfall of Diddy documentary revealed, for many that video became the central defining piece of information. This leads to a critical question: how can the defense effectively counter the powerful emotional response that the Cassie video is likely to evoke in potential jurors, even if it's not directly relevant to the charges at hand? Can they persuade the jury to focus solely on the evidence presented in court regarding the specific charges and to disregard pre-existing biases formed by this highly publicized footage? Beyond the challenges of overcoming pre-existing biases and the impact of media, the practicalities of a potentially lengthy trial also come into play. A 2-month trial, stretching through the summer months, will undoubtedly lead to a significant number of prospective jurors seeking hardship exemptions. This logistical hurdle will further shrink the pool of available candidates, making the selection process even more intricate.
And then there's the unavoidable factor of race. In a society where racial dynamics continue to shape perceptions and experiences, race will undoubtedly be a significant consideration for both the prosecution and the defense as they strategize their jury selection. As we asked in the intro, what specific racial and ethnic demographics will each side be aiming for in the jury?
Will their strategies involve seeking jurors whom they believe might be more sympathetic to their respective narratives, based on shared backgrounds or experiences? Similarly, the long-debated influence of gender in jury deliberations will be a factor. Will male or female jurors, on average, be perceived as potentially more or less sympathetic towards Diddy? Given the nature of the allegations, will either side attempt to strategically select based on gender, believing it could sway the outcome? Finally, the courtroom dynamic itself presents a unique aspect to this jury selection process, with the judge taking the lead in questioning potential jurors rather than the lawyers directly. The ability of the defense and prosecution to subtly influence the pool will be somewhat constrained. However, with a team of lawyers on each side, maintaining order and preventing any form of indirect influence will be a challenge for the presiding judge. The jury selection in the Diddy trial is not merely a preliminary step, it is a crucial battleground that will significantly influence the entire course of the legal proceedings. The composition of this jury, their backgrounds, their biases, and their ability to remain impartial will ultimately determine the trajectory of Diddy's life and legacy. It's a complex and high-stakes process, fraught with psychological complexities and the immense weight of public opinion. If you're finding this in-depth analysis of the challenges of jury selection in the Diddy trial intriguing, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps us reach a wider audience and allows us to continue bringing you in-depth coverage of significant celebrity news stories. And if you're new to CEtrends, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We are dedicated to providing you with insightful analysis and the stories behind the headlines in the world of celebrity and entertainment. While you're here, we encourage you to explore some of our other videos that delve into the complexities of celebrity legal battles and the impact of public perception on high-profile cases. You might find our analysis of Who Are Diddy's Lawyers, or our exploration of what everyone thinks about Diddy could be dead wrong and hurt him. You can find links to these and other engaging videos on the screen. Thank you for joining us here on CEtrends as we navigate the intricate process of jury selection in the Diddy trial. We will continue to bring you updates and analysis as this case unfolds. Stay informed, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next video.